with the constant internet and internet service and social media service interruptions, they have features like Brian Buchanan, definitely. Um, because I would upset or something and I'm smiling and laughing. Sometimes they do that, just like Brian. It's when people are wicked depressed, they get like that. So, well, it might be something that in 2024 he was either on a drug or he was just happier to be with me because everyone told me when he wasn't with me, he was absolutely pressed. And I remember seeing him before we started going out. It was kind of similar to how he is here, but he seems happier here, but he would just sit in the library real quiet. And I remember he looked like really sad, depressed. And he stayed in the chair like next to the desk I was at like for hours. He probably didn't even care and notice me there. And I'm thinking he's there because of me. But as he was leaving, I was like, "Oh, hi, hi," and then that's when he told me he was watching wrestling or wrestling, what he calls it, and he had his fuchsia coat on because we both had fuchsia coats and maroon pants. He probably doesn't even remember that either. So, yeah, like he still does talk about like how he was before, and I think he's kind of like he does not like that stuff around his eyes at all. Right. So when he's using it, it gets real bad. Even though he may not act like it, he must just be so intoxicated that he doesn't even know. But he, even just a little bit of it, he cannot stand that. Yeah, it wicked bothers him. It's not a person who doesn't care about his looks, and he doesn't think he's attractive. I'm always telling him to look in the mirror and stuff more. Yeah, he has wicked low self esteem. So a lot of the stuff he does, the cockiness and stuff, has to come from being like a wicked misogynist pig and upsetting people and being a fucking asshole and hurting people. That's where he has to think that it's something he's good at. Oh, tired. Since I now have to come to terms with everything that just happened to me, um, I think tomorrow I'll try to start coming up with different topics so that I can move on. I haven't done the airline ticket yet because I have it. I can do it up to 7 days before the flight. So I think I marked myself off for like Monday or Tuesday. Monday, I have to talk to my lawyer. I got it. When is my therapist? I think I already looked. Someday next week is my therapist on the phone. I don't have to go anywhere except to court before I go to the airport. Um, so that's a relief, I guess. At some point in time, I need to do laundry, so I'm going to be doing a heck of a lot less laundry, which is nice. It was mostly my laundry. I'll notice it even more when I do it, and I'll be like, it's still the same amount of laundry. Um, he doesn't have as much clothes as I do, and no, I think he'll change them every day if he has clean pants every day. Yeah, he just doesn't have as much clothes as I do because when he didn't accumulate enough clothes, he some of the stuff is he doesn't do the things that I take him to. Someone like him, like had that been an actual marriage that was going to continue on, I'd have to just stop picking out his clothes for him. For one thing, yeah, it's like, dude, if you want to pick out your own clothes, like at the church, you need to go in the thing and pick them out. Right. I think he's so used to going to like Cambridge, he can pick out his own clothes. Yeah. I still don't believe he should have to do his own laundry if he stayed married to me. I don't know what his life is going to be now. I don't know what it's like. They're probably going to put him into one of those things where they've got to teach him to take care of himself. He knows how to take care of himself, and that's what a wife does. Like, shower, watch your wife do laundry. Yeah, this time he would go to the laundry room with me. The laundry was going a lot nicer than it was in the shelter. There was a couple times he wouldn't even go back and forth to help me carry it, but I think maybe that only happened once. Yeah, and then he was like getting better about that. I think he just didn't realize that I was being an asshole. And obviously, when you're around other people, right, you go, "Oh, this looks bad. I'm an asshole." Yeah. I had him. Oh yeah, I should do that. I had him taking out trash. I've been very lax about it since this happened, so I feel bad now. I have to get back to it, but I, I had him doing brushing his teeth and using mouthwash. So that's all I can tell you. I know you just go. I don't mean it like he's a retard that I trained to the ABC system. Right? It's called depression and having someone that cares about you that you don't fly off the handle when they say stuff. Yep. Just uh, we should take showers today. I got dressed. You're gonna do your underwear and stuff, babe, and kiss, and he does it. So was it wrong of me when I found out he went to Harvard and that he didn't want me to be with him that night to go to Cambridge to get clothes? Because that doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? I need my stuff. He probably wanted to try to come back here, and I kept telling him, and telling him. Yeah, like in the text, I told him, I told you to go to the hospital, dude. Right? It's like I told you to go to a hospital as soon as you left. I don't know how that didn't make any sense to you. I explained the whole entire thing. There was a whole bunch of stuff about you that Candy didn't know, and she didn't realize you were having that type of problems. And you're not usually like that, so it gives her a bad impression. If she came in here and saw that going on, the cops would have been called. And I don't know if she would have beat the fuck out of you, not knowing what the fuck was going on. Because you still have a person who insists that that's not a mental illness and he doesn't need to be treated for it. And you go, dude, that's when people break up then. Yeah, that's when people break up. But I do think that you should be able to eventually have that conversation because it's your wife. Even if you had a psycho girlfriend, is that all the dudes always say that psycho girlfriend, like they never said anything. Um, you still should be able to, in a text message, especially, be able to be an adult and end it. It's one of those things where if you're going to keep going, but you couldn't do this and then you couldn't do that, it's like we usually work it out. That's why we got married. Right? You go, what happened to us talking constantly about it's going to work out? He was the one who used to say it too. It's going to work out. It's going to work out. And now all of a sudden he's not even talking to me. Right? In a sense, in some respects, I don't care if he doesn't understand. Okay? If you don't understand, then do what I said. When you know a person never has your anything but your best interest in mind, and we've gone this far with it, and you've seen a couple of times what happens when you don't do what I say, and what happens when you're away from me, and what happens when you're with me. Okay, just one time, maybe twice. This is the issue. Because some of them, I'm sure, are going to just keep saying that. I don't understand what's going on. Why are you acting like this? Why can't you just blah, blah, blah? You have to go to the hospital. Yeah, like it was like you have to pack your bag. Plus, a collision course and a crushing collapse. A hot air balloon takes down a radio tower at a balloon festival in New Mexico.
I'm excited to see him. I think he definitely has a great arm. He's really, really talented. Patriots players are saying ahead of Sunday's debut for Drake May. 7 News at 10 starts now. We begin tonight with the story you saw first on 7. Car trouble at a gas station in Billerica. A pickup truck catching on fire. The flames spreading.
One thing that actually dawned on me, I don't know if it's when it started getting cold. It's probably when it started getting cold. I was like, this is it, which makes no sense because the thing at the patio with the shelters outside too. I was just like, yeah, it was just so much easier just to go from bloop to bloop to smoke. This, I mean, it's a kind of this. It's not really a fat walk. It's probably because it's getting cold and it's not even about distance. I'm gonna put my blankets down.
An explosion of flames at a gas pump in Billerica setting off the fire suppression system. Security cameras rolling as the black pickup truck ignites at the mobile and Chelmsford Road. Young men get out of the truck fast. They keep their distance as the smoke starts to billow. Within minutes, employees run out and turn off the gas pumps. Then men with fire extinguishers try to put the fire out to no avail. The smoke and flames only continue to grow as the truck ignites even more. Within 10 minutes, firefighters arrive to find an inferno. But before they can even roll out their hoses, fire suppression system kicks in, engulfing the gas station in a white cloud of powder so thick it even blocks the surveillance camera's view. From above, you can see that white powder coating the entire property. The concrete next to the pump left scorched. Hours later, crews are still picking up the section high, most up the pavement, replacing the fire extinguishers and reloading the fire suppression.
See if I can sleep better tonight. I've been using my pillow and the 2 pillows he was using because it still smells like him. I think the first night I didn't do that. I think I just used my pillow the first night. I'm sure I don't smell like anything nice according to Brian Buchanan because I don't wear perfume.
After a close call, Amherst, New Hampshire police dash cam video was tough to watch. That's Officer Kyle Cordero yanked to the ground in a split second when a broken section of telephone pole.
Yeah, it's difficult when you have a husband that doesn't really seem that enamored with you and he's not giving you compliments, and then all of a sudden he screams, old cunt at you. And you have an age difference, yeah. It's pretty emotionally upsetting, yes.
The injured officer was transported to the hospital and is now home recovering. Officer Cordero, who's been with the department for a year, responded to an accident.
One of the things I would say too is I think part of the problem that goes on with Brian is he runs away so you can't have a conversation even on the telephone. Right, and then he gets confused, but because he's not answering back when you text something. Right, he's not answering back when you text something, and you just go. That's what causes a person to do that. I'm surprised he wouldn't know that by now. It's almost like that's okay to do, but when we're in real life talking, I'll be sitting there listening, and then it's like he's not asking me questions, though. He's usually telling a story, talking about his own self. So you go, maybe he's frustrated that there's not enough conversation going on. That's a whole other thing, because I would agree with that, because we're under a lot of stress. And I thought that I explained I have a difficulty concentrating on the television because of my severe PTSD. Right, I like Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune because I can focus on it. I can't even really watch the news. The types of films that I like, we can't play here because Candy can't stand horror films. I also explained that I get very upset at films that have vulgarity in it, like smut, I call it. And then I think Brian thinks that he's making fun of me because I use the word smut. So I'm sure it's difficult for a person with his background to realize that he can rise above that. That's why I said that's one of the things about the drug addicts. I don't know if they can ever do it. They can ever do it. They're just ultra defensive. I already know much about your past. I'm not even talking about you. I'm talking about the films. Are you sitting in a chair naked? No. And because of the heavy grooming, a child is taught that that's if people are like that, there's something wrong with them. It's part of grooming children for child abuse. So if the fact that a person is not at the point of being disgusted with that stuff like I am, he was watching this shit for a year. You were watching this shit for a year and you didn't hear my words. Unless he said his aunt saw it, but he didn't watch it. Yeah, maybe he didn't have any interest in it, and his aunt was trying to get him to watch it. When I talk to her, I feel bad for her now. I really do, because unless it's a scenario like I told her, which I'm sure she'd understand if she was normal, and if it is what I think, then I don't care what she thinks. Like if she suddenly started talking to him again because of this, if he told her that we were broken up for good and she started taking his phone calls again, then she's a wacko. Right? Why wouldn't you take his phone calls when he's sober? So anyways, right, like she was punishing him for changing the emergency contact and being married, which would be gross. He just said that she asked him, who is this chick with the insane body? I know, can you imagine? Or even his own aunt saying that, but he never says anything about that. Yeah. Some of it's probably not having enough time to have sex. I really think that's it, because there's not enough naked time to go, the fuck, how are you 53? You know what I'm saying? That's what even got me going. And then certain things, then he has to belittle that. Like, it's like, how do you not understand why I get so upset about that? It's got to have something to do again with his child abuse. It sounds like I fear that like maybe he's never going to be able to get over it. Yeah, you just go, it's so sad to think that, isn't it? That you can just completely destroy a person's brain as a child and then they grow up like that. I don't know. That's what cognitive behavioral therapy is, and you go, operating with a renewed sense of energy thanks to the elevation of Drake May as the team starting QB. If we were in our own apartment, he would have just came right back to it. I'm sure. If we were in our own apartment, when he probably would have called me that night and said, "All right, I took a walk around. I'm coming back now." Probably. You only have to worry about that if he actually gets dangerous, or if he gets more and more like that because the fight isn't resolved. Yeah. There had been times before where I told him that if he didn't stop fucking doing that, he was going to have to leave. He was told that. Yep. So I don't know if he thinks that's threats. There has to be a line drawn on you, what you're doing. Yep. There was times since we've been here and on Facebook and all of it, because that's a given fact. And unfortunately, folks, sometimes that's how you have to talk to people. That's not kicking you out. I'm telling you right now, if you don't fucking stop that, or you don't shut your mouth right now, you're packing a bag and you're going on a fucking train. Now from the night scene, a truck crashing into a Dunkin' in Saugus. This black pickup barreled into the building around noon. Could you imagine some insane, disgusting Chaz now trying to capture Brian Buchanan and do that to him and then beat the fuck out of him?
Skies have been over that area this afternoon. Debris left in front of one of the store's entrances. Officials there inspected the building and are working to determine whether it is safe.
Or just any disgusting child tries to do that to some dude that you just met.
For the first time, 32-year-old Ryan Burrow hit on the door in court today, but he pleaded not guilty to a murder charge, as well as a number of other gun charges. The judge
I wouldn't recommend doing that because you're not me and your person isn't Brian Buchanan.
A 20-year-old from Canton died. The other person shot.
I don't know, for some reason that struck me as wicked funny. It might be like finally a little bit of the food is starting to get to me. Well, I had 2 sandwiches. That's a bunch of carbs because I never made flats. Oh, I think I'm outside of chicken. I've been barely eating. I've definitely barely been eating, but I've eaten every single day. I've been doing pretty good with liquids, and I haven't gone wicked insane with coffee. I ran out of all the international stuff. This one doesn't have it. Doesn't have sugar-free coffee creamer to make my own. So it's just regular coffee, so I'm definitely going to drink less. Definitely going to be less coffee drunk if it's just regular coffee after like a bender of like 2 pounds of international coffees.
Too dangerous to be out in the community. A judge orders 24-year-old DeAndre Hernandez locked up after he was accused of attacking a teenage girl in the museum.
In a sense, it's sad too because if Brian's in denial about the nuclear weapons, so he doesn't know that he's being agitated by that, and you just go, "What the fuck just happened?" Knowing him, it contributes to the problem because then he goes, "See, it is her. I feel like 5 times better being the fuck away from her finally." That's all it took was shutting off my phone and not responding to her. Okay, then God hasn't explained it to you. And nothing I say or show you, you're just always going to think I'm insane because God won't allow you to see it. He said he could see the thing that looks like a head bound in the swastika, but it's not a swastika. But that's what you people think it's called, so that's the easiest word. It's an eye of horse. It's not a swastika. It's not eye of horse. Eye of horse. Because it's a horse's eye. It's many things. My stories. My stories of the kingdom. Yeah, that's not making any sense. My stories of the kingdom. Storyteller, my stories of the kingdom. Boom, 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 boom. Students were evacuated from the building and school was canceled for the day. The Georgetown Fire Department and National Grid. I do. I swear to God, I honestly believe at this point that if I was doing this with Brian Buchanan in the room, he would give me a nasty look. He doesn't even think farts are funny. Oh yeah, he was getting so disgusted. He was like, "What the fuck am I married to?" Like, yeah, he was like disgusting.
A woman rescued from a fire in Watertown this morning. The fire chief says a downstairs neighbor noticed smoke coming.
That one night when I went to cuddle with him and he goes, "Chin." What the fuck, dude? Weird. Everything to do with that is wrong because he's not used to being with someone. And he's so locked up, right? You just go, "Oh my fucking God, dude." This is what people do. Like, I don't even want to know what 2 children were doing. And it's beyond evident. Okay. Dudes basically usually lay with their head right here on their woman's fucking chest. So I don't know what the fuck you people were doing. He seems like he sleeps in constant, what do they call it? Protective mode. Oh yeah. Yeah. So he's not comfortable in anything, and plus we're on the floor. He's not comfortable in any regular couples cuddling because he's clearly never done it before. Yeah, just, and then, are you gonna put your face right in my face? You're gonna breathe right in my face? What the fuck, dude?
These are pictures of the
Yeah, he doesn't like it if my hair is anywhere near him, and you just go, how long are you gonna keep this up for? And he doesn't understand why I get upset. I can see that you're depressed, yeah. Some of the nights, like, it's one of the, he should have explained this more, but honestly, in my opinion, it's because we can't do anything. It's like the most frustrating, whacked out situation in our lives because we don't have housing. Yeah, just, he doesn't even want to be cuddly and stuff because he knows he's gonna get horny. Yep. I mean, this is like fucking stupid. 2 months of this.
The Piano Craft Gallery president says that he suspects it'll take about thousands of dollars to
It was definitely nice to have the time to be at least sleeping next to him for a few weeks, about a month. Yeah.
Police said they were tipped off by that catches suspected predators. The 19 Jonathan
Well, that's more than I got in 2023.
While child porn like Jason Giles may not want to be on camera, prosecutors said he should face justice.
In some respects, when stuff like this happens, it makes it harder to get him. It makes it me understand why he wouldn't have a dire need to get back to me, because he never allowed himself to bond to me. Just like exactly what I was talking about. I don't think it's that he doesn't want to, but he doesn't want to. Yeah. He won't let himself feel any feelings for me like that, and then he would be really missing me, and he'd have to stop what he's doing. So you have to realize this isn't a regular drug addict. Yeah, it's like an anti-social person because of the amount of abuse, and he wants to tell himself he's a grandmaster sadistic psychopath and all this fucked up shit when he's outside and vomiting. It's just, will not allow his own wife to break through that barrier. I think he'll be fine tied to worse of this. Not better. Well, he'll be fine. This is like he'll never want to go out with another person again. Giles' attorney told the judge her client is likely on the spectrum of autism and had a rough. You know how people say that, and you go, "Come on, dude, you're 37 years old. Obviously, you're gonna." He's never gonna have it. He's never gonna want to have a relationship with another person. You gotta trust what I'm saying. Like what I saw on Tuesday night, and then what he's been acting like. And then he's informed about what's going on with nuclear weapons. He doesn't have time for that. He just quote unquote wasted a year and a half of his life on me. In some respects, you go, aha, you didn't just waste some old cunt's last legs because obviously my medical condition, we're all gonna fucking die. And you just go, wait a minute. We're all gonna fucking die. That's nuclear weapons. Yeah, we're all gonna fucking die. Except your species ain't coming back again. Yep, we're all gonna die. And then they go, oh, just watch us say we're all gonna die again. The shit that my mind has had to absorb. Just in some respects, a lot of it's calmed down, but you gotta think. The fall of 2009, actually, I think it was about December of 2010 is when it first started. So for all of that time, this is what I've been doing and what I've been put through.
We're 6 feet deep. We have some people who believe that it might get as high as 20 feet.
In Pinellas County, near Clearwater, hundreds remain in shelters. Some
Oh, jeez.
we have over 150 people that have actually been in shelters with us since Hurricane Helene. With the rest
Yeah, get yourself. Ooh.
represents the largest National Guard response in Florida. We have an additional $50 million on top of what we did for Hurricane Helene.
FEMA says people will
continue to work with each person as they're through understanding what they experienced from Helene, what they experienced from the everything that we're doing.
While victims assess the damage, moments of hope and resilience begin to emerge. We had a beautiful meeting.
What I'm feeling like tonight is I don't want to sleep.
Shelter staff, help with the delivery. More than a dozen people have died as a result of Hurricane
I don't want to
Milton.
sleep because
That's in addition to more
obviously
than
it's over.
200 confirmed deaths.
Yeah, obviously it's over. Yeah, tomorrow. And he was going to ask me to meet him at Manton Health today. Like, I still cannot believe that didn't happen. Yeah, I just still believe that didn't happen. So I know it's completely over. It's just that's why I don't want to go to sleep. But I'll be okay. I will go to sleep. Go to sleep every night. I think there was only one night. Was it the first night? Was it Tuesday night? Well, I didn't sleep at all. Not even for 5 minutes.
Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Zeroing in issues they feel will resonate most with each state's voters, like the economy and manufacturing in Michigan.
We will ensure that the next generation of breakthroughs, from advanced batteries to electric vehicles, are not only invented but built right here.
I intend for the triumph of the American auto industry to be among my greatest legacies. I want it to be a legacy.
And immigration in Arizona.
We ought to focus on our own people and put their interests first. That's what the American leadership exists for. This issue should not divide us, it should unite us.
And getting help from high-profile allies like former President Barack Obama's first campaign stop for Vice President Kamala Harris in Pittsburgh Thursday.
She doesn't have to make you look better.
Today, former President Donald Trump said no to another debate.
Getting ready to go out, but I think I'm gonna bring my phone with me if I feel like typing. Honestly, because of this, yeah, I'm kind of sort of convinced that he's met somebody else. Because why would his time be so tied up like this? Remember when he called and then he'd be like, "Oh, I can't talk." Why? Get it? Are you just angry or someone's there? People get wicked cocky when they meet another person too. Yeah, you go, that's why you never should have went there. You never should have went back there because obviously you know it. Whatever it is that you've done, Brian, you know that it's pointless to even talk to me. It's kind of probably like 2023, but worse. Like, it's probably worse than that. And I can't care. Yeah, I think it goes beyond relapsing too. It goes beyond relapsing. Like, I think in a sense he was like admitting that he was never intending to stay sober. Because he basically told me he's never going to stop doing that stuff with the Adderall. Yeah, he pretty much told me that.
Well, I'm not the type of person to ever call a lawyer. I cannot tell you how many times that first phone call ends with a client saying, "Jesus, I just feel so relieved." You don't need America. You just need America.
I think it was right around the time we got the marriage license. I didn't know that he was doing that shit with Adderall. Nope. So I think if I had more time to think about it, I think everybody knows what I thought was going on in 2023, how naive I was about the stuff he was doing. And I thought he was like explaining to me everything that people do and how nice he was and stuff. He was still admitting things, but I could tell that when he was admitting it, he wasn't talking in any way like he was in 2023. Yeah, I think you know. Okay. I think that's more than having a relapse. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that's more than having a relapse. Like, he immediately started hooking up with someone. So, Yeah, because you go, what else would be? Something obviously was said where he knew that it's not going to happen. And I don't know if someone counseled him about it and he told them certain things and then they went, I can't care about that either. I would go over that because I don't believe that they could actually influence him like that, but that he wanted to be influenced. Get it? When we were at the shelter, he thought we were going to get approved for housing. Like, so did I. I thought we were going to get housing. Kicked us, destroyed that. So, with everything going on, it forced him to decide to go back to this Gavin and CSS and halfway house shit. Right? Because you got to remember, when he got out of Gavin and flipped out and left, he was accusing me of destroying his life because he could have gone into a halfway house. But because he didn't go with us to there, because the state is to pay for it, this dude is never going to pay for anything in his life. That's why he doesn't care about Social Security and DTA cash. Oh yeah, because he has to have people care for him. So he just decided he'd rather do that than be married and have a woman doing it. Because he goes, I don't understand what this, like, that's kind of how he was talking. I don't understand what this is. You don't understand what this is. You're the reason we got kicked out of a shelter. You're the reason we got kicked out of a shelter. What do you mean you don't know what this is? What the f did you think I was going to do? Pull an apartment out of my asshole? It's similar to how he was talking today. After what you just said, you still think I'm responsible for what's happening to you right now? Dude, I'm not getting rid of Dr. Nick because that's how I get my Adderall and all like braggy and stuff.
Many people in the area, though, missing
All right, it's finance.
Only saw the lights and photos and videos online this morning. And says he wishes he had the chance to see the sky for himself.
Through all the Instagram videos and people's fantastic camera images, I did get to experience some of the spectacle.
The increased solar activity that caused the lights is already starting to settle.
Once a lifetime type thing to see, especially at that time where the kids could be outside and see it too. It wasn't in the middle of the night.
Anything to get people outdoors experiencing the environment is fantastic.
Because of the size of the solar storm, people in the U.S. could spot the rare sight as far south as Texas, and some sightings were even reported in Australia. In the newsroom, Kiki Bensel, 7 News 19.
Yes. What a night. What a show last night. But we move on. Weekend forecast coming up in a few minutes.
I'm a former police officer, and this is my bar. Joyce Craig let the homeless take over Manchester. Downtown was a total nightmare. There were needles, drugs, feces all over the place. Joyce put the needs and the cares of the homeless before us, where she didn't give a us. We're still not coming back from the things that she did or didn't do to help us. Joyce Craig was the mayor and should have been governor.
Paid for by Kelly for New Hampshire.
Love the way you move with intelligent around view monitor on the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks.
Now get a low $279 per month lease for 36 months on the all-new Nissan Kicks.
Joyce Craig was a disaster's mayor. Homicide shot up 250%. Homeless encampments everywhere. Needles littered the streets. What did Joyce Craig do? Tried to raise taxes every single year. Now Joyce Craig wants to bring back a state income tax, raising taxes $160 million a year on small businesses, seniors, even retirees. Joyce Craig, a liberal disaster, was going to raise our taxes. Paid for by New Hampshire Republican State Committee. 7 News is brought to you in part by Bernie and Phil's Furniture.
Welcome back. Glad you're with us tonight. Finally Friday. Looking forward to the weekend. It looks like tomorrow is going to be the pick of the weekend. Another just extension of a late summer kind of feel.
If it was like today, I think a lot of people would love that, JR.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's the opening line here. Tomorrow's fantastic. Gusty breeze, but overall it looks great. Temps will not be as chilly tomorrow morning as we were this morning. So taking the kiddos out to the soccer fields, the numbers will be climbing through the 50s. Temps tomorrow afternoon, upper 60s. On Sunday, a lot of clouds, a few hit and miss showers. I don't think it's going to rain all day Sunday, but at the same time, it's tough to really pin down one part of the day that offers showers because they may pop as early as 7 or 8 a.m. Some of you may not have a shower till 11 or noon. Others may be in and out of the showers in the afternoon. And it is cooler with temperature Sunday afternoon matching tomorrow morning with temps Sunday afternoon only into the lower 50s. Temps compared to last night at this time, about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than where we were with the numbers in the 50s, Norwood 53, here in Boston 60. Jaffrey at 52. Skies are mostly clear. Unfortunately, our solar storm has come to an end. It's like a meteorological storm. I mean, it only goes on for so long, and then it will cease to exist and shut down. But what a show it was last night. Now, just for reference, this chart here shows the KP index number. And to have a good viewing in New England, you have to have at least a 7. 7 o'clock last night, it was upwards of a 9, almost unprecedented. And then as you get into the latter half of this afternoon, and now this is where we stand here, it's very low. And so the magnetic storm returning to normal levels, as you would say, up in the ionosphere. Temperatures across the Northeast and even into the upper Midwest still mild. Now, I don't have numbers on the blue coloring here, but that's where you have temperatures running in the 40s and 50s. That's behind a cool front, which is working through the St. Lawrence Seaway. Sometimes when these fronts come through, they're very noticeable with clouds, showers, and thunderstorms. But this one will just quietly come through tomorrow morning. It'll shift the wind over to the northwest, and that's it. You may have a spot cloud, but I think it's a nice, dry, bright day and mild because the cold air will be delayed coming into southern New England. Sometimes the cold air is right behind the front, and other times, like tomorrow, the cold air doesn't show up until about 6 or almost 12 hours after the front will move through. Temps tomorrow morning in the mid-50s, temps tomorrow afternoon in the upper 60s to around 70. The city at 69, Attleboro down to Providence at 70 degrees. There's tomorrow. There's the cooler air behind the front, a day late, not an hour short, with temps on Sunday only in the low to mid-50s and a few hit and miss showers, although I think a higher chance of showers on Monday, Columbus Day. So as we get to the Futurecast on Sunday, 11 o'clock Sunday morning, the green blobs indicating the showers, but it's not a wall of rain across the region, and then those showers will be there off and on Sunday afternoon. They do become more numerous Sunday evening, Sunday night, and they will spill over into Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday. So your Patriots game on Sunday, have the rain gear. You may have a shower. I don't think it's going to rain the entire day down at Gillette, but certainly chance of showers will be there, about a 30 to 40% chance. And it's a cool feel with temps only in the low 50s for 7-on-7 forecast. As we look into next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, clouds and sun. Thursday and Friday, all sorts of sun.
Now from the next team, tower terror in New Mexico. A massive radio tower knocked down after being hit by a hot air balloon. It happened during the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta.
Nobody was hurt, but witnesses tonight are saying they were stunned. Johnny Ann Thompson shows us more.
A hot air balloon striking a radio station's tower in New Mexico, causing it to collapse. It happened during the annual Hot Air Balloon Festival in Albuquerque. The 9-day event draws hundreds of thousands of spectators and hot air balloon pilots each year. Local fire officials say the balloon hit the tower, was able to keep flying, and eventually landed. People who live near the tower say they were surprised when it fell.
I'm thinking we're in shock a little bit. It's just been a wow moment, like, and next to your house and feeling it. It's just like, it's a feeling you don't ever expect to feel.
The balloon had 3 people on board. They were able to make it away unscathed despite the crash.
Luckily, there's no injuries with the balloon crew, and he was able to fly away to safety and land. So balloon officials have made contact with the balloon crew, and there are no injuries at this time.
This is not the first time a hot air balloon has hit a radio tower in New Mexico. Back in 2004, a Smokey Bear balloon slammed into a tower. Nobody on that balloon was hurt. And as you can see, that tower did not collapse. Yesterday happened to be the 20th year anniversary of when the Smokey Bear balloon hit that
Tower. The incident. In the newsroom, Johnny on Thompson, 7 News 19.
Coming up from 19, tourists trapped hundreds of feet below ground. What we're learning about a terrifying accident at a former gold mine out west.
Address all your skin concerns with Bay Medispa's new BBL and Halo laser treatments.
Back again, huh? You must love Lucy.
You're buying the next.
You gotta win one first.
Okay.
Get 2 of your McDonald's favorites like the McDouble or McChicken for $3.99 or mix and match. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
During Bernie and Phil's fall savings event with savings up to $2,000 plus 0% financing for 1 year. Now is the time to freshen up your home. Even a small change can make a world of difference. Modular furniture can easily be arranged and rearranged for fun fall get-togethers. Many items are in stock and ready for next day delivery or customized to show your true style and receive in as little as 30 days. We offer amazing prices to fit your budget. There's no reason to wait with savings up to $2,000 and 0% financing from Bernie and Phil's.
That's nice. Hey, I'm Ronnie Mund. We were in the middle of a cross-country move when everything happened. We thought, oh my God, we're gonna have to keep flying back and forth to New York. I sat down with my wife and I said, so what are we gonna do? I reached out to Morgan & Morgan. We didn't even have to go to the office. It was so simple. When you go up against a big company, you're not afraid of that little guy. You're afraid of the guy who's plastered all over the United States. If you want an attorney that's gonna fight for everything that you deserve, these are the people you use.
The Herb Chambers Gear Up for Fall Savings event is going on now at every Herb Chambers dealership. We offer you the greatest choice of cars, trucks, and SUVs in New England. Experience legendary customer service when shopping for your next new or pre-owned vehicle. And at Herb Chambers, you always get the absolute best price. Don't miss the Herb Chambers Gear Up for Fall Savings event going on now. Visit herbchambers.com to view our entire inventory or visit any one of our exceptional Herb Chambers dealerships.
Any smokes in a nose. You'll enjoy your drink from McDonald's longer than anyone else.
Savor every sip of your favorite any-size soft drink for just $1.29. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
An elevator malfunction at a former gold mine in Colorado leads to an hours-long rescue operation. One person died. More than 20 others were pulled out alive. And it all happened hundreds of feet below ground.
Most of the people who were trapped were tourists who were visiting that site, connecting to Brandon without reports.
Currently, we don't know exactly what happened at the feet to cause this. That's something we're working through.
Nearly 24 people rescued from a gold mine in Colorado. An elevator malfunction trapped one tour group.
I think it's funny how I'm like talking at the Facebook and then I come in here and just keep talking on this
We
thing.
had a mechanical issue. It created a severe danger for the participants and the riders that were on board.
The historic facility outside Colorado Springs operates as a tourist attraction. Its staff takes visitors
Better get ready to
1,000
go to
feet below
bed
the
now.
surface.
There's a tour that goes on at the 1,000-foot level where they show them how mining was done.
I knew
Investigators
I'd
say
be
they
able
were
to
able to bring
sleep
the group
once
in the
reality
elevator back
hit
up
me.
quickly, though one person did not survive.
The outcome overall was very successful, and our hearts are with the person that died.
I will tell you, the owner of this mine and the family that have been for many years have done a great job of making it that safe. They've put thousands of people down this mine for tours and very, very low safety concerns.
The remaining group at the bottom of the mine, however, were stopped for almost 6 hours, 500 feet below the surface. Their practice has to do for this way. Slow as we do. Officials say it could have been much worse.
There's a big happy ending to an otherwise tragic day.
Well, the mine opened in the 1800s and operated until 1961. Investigators say the last incident at this mine was in the 80s when a couple of people got trapped on the elevator. In the newsroom, I'm Brandon McDonough, 7 News.
Caught on camera in Ohio, a man trapped by a car with his 9 south behind the wheel. According to court documents, the police the car was intoxicated when he was taking his son and driving bus. 9 years old, investigators have shot with gas, reversing down the driveway, following the
Right? It's like the same thing still applies to everybody. You have to completely cut off giving them money. And then you'll see what happens, and you saw what happened. He would have ditched me outside if we didn't come here. Yeah, we went right back to Quincy from Reedville train station. He didn't even want to walk around Dedham. And then when we ended up here, he expected me to take a tour of Foxborough his whole life. And a person like that was probably dumbfounded. And I didn't act. I actually was somewhat interested. But like the thing about me not seeming that interested in what he's doing, he doesn't understand my point of view. Like I just said, we just spent the night in Dedham. You didn't even want to see the house that I was living in. I already spent 2023 listening to everything that came out of this man's mouth like it was man from the sky. After a while, yeah. When you don't even know what your wife's birthday is, because when we went to the campground, I found that out. My hand to God, he didn't even know my birthday.